The time has come where two business besties, that's us, come together to share all of the behind the scenes laughter, tears, trial and tribulations of exiting our 9-to-5s and building out a multi-six-figure coaching and learning company for women entrepreneurs. Imagine this. You're sitting around a cozy living room, the hot beverages are poured, and you and your besties are talking about the real, honest moves you're making to grow a sustainable business and how you're doing whatever it is that you love all day. That is this podcast episode.
Hi everyone, Kaila here, your Virgo systems queen and manifesting generator to the core. I love creating effective, profit-driven business systems that take the guesswork out of growth and scaling. My mission is to support women in building your wealth.
And I'm Nicole. If you've been around for a minute, you probably know that I'm the host of our TGIM segment on the podcast, which is your weekly dose of mindset and manifesting inspo. I'm a human design generator, an Aries sun, and the woman with about 1,000 ideas in my head a day. I used to be a high school teacher and yoga instructor, but back in 2016, when I first heard about the world of professional coaching, I knew I had found my calling. Exiting my teaching job was both terrifying and thrilling, and it wasn't until I met Kaila and we built this company did I truly feel like my ideas could be brought to life in a successful, profitable business.
Our intention on this podcast is to take you backstage of what it's been like building this company, from hiring and firing, the systems and processes that are required, the deep mindset work that we're committed to, and to show you how it can all be done. Because we don't believe in gatekeeping around here. And of course, we want to bring all of our humanness to the show to let you know that we're not any different than you.
So sticking true to our motto, we want to show you how you can all make a lot of money, have a lot of fun, and do a lot of good in this world. Come hang out with your business besties every Thursday.
Are you even best friends if you haven't thought about going into business together and then you think to yourself, is this actually a good idea?
Many ideas with friends over the lifetime of businesses we'd create together. And I'm excited for everybody to hear today's episode. So welcome everybody to this week's segment of Biz Besties. Kaila and I are here. We're going to share with you our 3 rules that we have that were initially unspoken rules, but then we found words for them, and some other things that we think are really important about having an actual business with somebody, 50-50 partnership. That's what we're going to be discussing today. And because a lot of people over the years have tried to have a business model like ours, like where it's 2 friends that go in with one another. And a lot of people have asked us, how do you 2 do it? So that's what we're going to unpack today.
Very excited. Grateful for you. Okay. Tell me, what's one thing that you are grateful for today about having a small business or an online business?
Something I'm grateful for today about having an online business is the opportunity to reach hundreds or thousands or millions or even billions, if we wanted to, of customers. When you are online, your customer base is so vast, you actually could never service all of the people who could access your work. I don't know an online, maybe Amazon, an online business outside of Amazon that could service the 5+ billion people who have access to the internet. So when I think about that, I'm like, this is really helpful for us being in this online space. So yeah, that's what I'm grateful for. What about you?
I'm grateful to make our own rules, which we're
Great segue
on the spot. Yeah.
Great segue. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about our 3 rules for being in business together, for being biz besties.
Okay. We'll talk about the 3 rules. And then I want to talk about how maybe your current bestie is not your best biz bestie.
Absolutely.
Okay. So these are our 3 rules. We get asked this all the time. How do we get along so well? And what do we have in place to make sure that we do that? Number 1 rule. It's silly, but it is what it is.
We do not go to the zoo on the same day.
At the same time.
Meaning Kaila can have her zooey crazy day where it feels like everything is maybe crumbling or like just trying to pick up all the pieces or keep it all together.
You feel like a zoo animal. You're like,
yeah,
things are crazy over here.
Absolutely. So one person
You're being
can
unhinged.
go to the zoo.
Yeah.
You're being unhinged. The other person cannot.
No, the other person must keep it together during the zoo times for the other person.
And I really feel like we've never actually both went to the zoo in the same moment.
That's because we have the rule.
So we have the rule. I think if somebody's listening and they're like, oh, but what if something happens in your business that just sends you both off the rails and you both feel unhinged? It's like, we just both don't perceive things the same way.
Exactly.
This is what is so interesting about the human experience is our perception of things and our fears and our worries are unique to us.
Yeah. So one person at the zoo at a time.
Yeah.
That's rule number one.
We've each had many days at the zoo.
We have frequent, what are the like punch cards? Like we have an annual pass. We can go whatever you want, but we can't go together. Okay.
Yeah.
So the other rule that we have, which comes from the zoo and different perceptions and how one of us can always keep it together, is when we're making hard decisions in our business, the person who cares more has to win. It just is what it is. If something is really important to you, Nicole, or something is really important to me, and we're talking like sometimes it's die on the hill important, so important that I can't continue without this or with this, whatever it is, then the other person basically has to concede and listen to that perspective. And so far, we've not come against something or come up to something that both of us is so convinced it has to happen opposite ways. And because we have so many shared values, it's unlikely that would happen.
Yeah. And some examples are like one of us maybe not wanting to continue doing WhatsApp coaching, for example. But it's not, oh, I can't continue to do WhatsApp coaching. And the other one of us feeling it feels really important. So then we're like, okay, it continues on. Joining our coaching program. I think about how I didn't even know who our coach was.
Like when we signed up.
Yeah. When we signed up, I didn't even know who our coach was, but Kaila was like, I really this book and I think we should read it. And we both read it and we both loved it. And I was like, yeah, I'm willing to bet on going all in and investing in this coaching program because I believe in how much you want it. And I'm so glad that we did because we strengthened our time together and learned lots and made incredible connections. But if we went off of like my sort of half-assed of, I don't really care if we join this coaching program because I don't really know her, then we wouldn't have learned all that we've learned. So it really is about, leaning heavier towards the person that cares more.
Yeah, that wants it. Okay. And I don't think we need another example for that, but I'm sure it will come up later in the podcast as we keep talking. And then the other thing is we give each other feed forward. And in a nutshell, the concept of feed forward is what's going well, what's not going well, and what could be done better moving forward. That's like you do it for yourself, you do it for the other person, and then the other person does it for themselves and does it for you. And you can do that in any partnership you're in. And the idea of the whole thing is that you're looking forward. You're not digging up old things from the past. You're not saying 2 months ago, this happened. So I don't trust that this isn't going to happen again, because that is not actually useful. The past already happened. The future will be lucky to get there. And all we have is this very present moment to build moving forward. So that's what we do. We move forward.
And feed forward is like really exceptional for exploring things that maybe you put to the back burner as you're building a business. A lot of the times you're focused on building the business and you're not focused on what have I been doing well or what have I been letting slide.
Yeah.
And so unless you and your business partner carve out time to do that, you don't really actually know where there's room for improvement or growth. And it could be a really big missed opportunity. So it's really helpful.
Yeah. I think the other thing that is helpful with us around conversations that we have is that we both think about what we're going to say. We both value our friendship so much and we value our partnership and business so much that I know when I'm choosing what I'm going to say, it's not like I'm always choosing every day what I'm going to say, but when I'm choosing what I'm going to say, I actually think to myself, and I wish I could do this in other areas of my life more often, but I think to myself, is what I'm saying, am I just going to say this because it feels good to me to get it off my chest and just say it? Or is what I'm saying actually useful to move the business forward or move your personal development forward? Like we are both trained coaches and we show up with our best coach selves every day in this business with each other.
Yeah. And I think it is, how many times has whoever's listening, have you said something for the sheer point of just saying something and not thinking about how it's received and the impact it has on somebody else? And what I think you and I do really is we think we speak with intention and not expectation. It's not
Yeah.
I'm going to say this because I expect that then you're going to do this. It's I'm going to say something and my intention is that you hear it and it lands
Yeah,
and
from
that
a
we get
place a
of
place of
love.
love. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had lots of hard conversations. We've had lots of moments of tears and frustration. And I believe there's so many things that contribute to us moving forward. But I think one of the biggest things is we don't want to hurt one another and just getting better and better at our own communication.
Yeah, we do genuinely want the best for each other.
Yeah. Yeah,
Personally,
absolutely.
individually, we want the best for my aligned purpose. And we want like that comes into how maybe if you have a best friend that you're like, oh, we should start a business, we should start a business, which I mean, I think every bestie pair has come up with this over the years, especially you don't get to mid 30s and never have thought about this before. But the reason why we think that my aligned purpose will continue and why it's so strong is because we have a shared vision of what
Mm,
we want for our individual lives. We want, ultimately, at the end of the day, we want exactly the same thing, which is freedom. It's
yeah.
our number one goal. We have other values that come into play and that we share, but aren't our number one strong values. But both of our number one values is freedom. And our number one shared vision is how we can move forward being free.
Yeah. And what we have seen in our own experiences of being in other business partnerships and coaching business partners and just being friends with business partners and all of it
Yeah.
is, yeah, I think everybody wants freedom. Who doesn't want freedom? So if people are listening, like everybody wants freedom. So how would that not work? It's, yeah. And there's people out there that say they want freedom, but their actions are saying they want security more. So
Yeah.
if you've got two business partners and one is, I'm willing to go all in on
Lay it on the
this,
line.
lay it all on the line and make this business my full-time business. And partner B is, I want freedom too. I want more money. So yeah, let's grow this business, but I'm not going to exit my 9 to 5. I'm not willing to take that risk. That's two different, bigger
It's
picture
mismatched,
visions.
completely mismatched. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And then you have to know when to walk away, know when to fold them, know when to hold them.
You know what? My Peloton ride yesterday, I did a country ride and she played The Gambler. I haven't heard that
Hilarious.
song in so long. And then yesterday and today, here we go.
Here we go. I just got back from Vegas, so it must be my RAS. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to talk about here is this idea too of we really, really know one another's strengths and we know one another's weaknesses. You'd be a fool to say that nobody has a weakness or that you yourself don't have a weakness. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our
Mhm.
strengths and we're aware of them individually and we're aware of one another's. And rather than say, for example, my weakness is in the details and in the systems, rather than Kaila constantly hounding me to strengthen my weaknesses, you support me to strengthen my strengths. You're like, hey, you got to get out for a walk and get in the zone and get your creative ideas flowing.
Yeah.
You're not like, you've got to sit down and figure Asana out or you're going to fuck this all up. You play into my strengths and I play into your strengths. And our strengths are complementary. If we both had, we have very similar strengths, lots of them. All of our strengths were similar, then who would fill in the gaps of our weaknesses?
And part of decisions that come with supporting each other's strengths are, if you know us, I love systems. And for example, Asana is a project management system. And we didn't need Asana really because we're in each other's heads. We talk all day, we do the things, we can keep notes on whatever pieces of paper until we got to multiple six figures a year. And then we're like, oh, there's too many loose ends to track without a project management system. You just like popcorn stuff all the time. Like things are always happening in your head. That is not what happens in my head. I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, there's too many loose ends. We need to pay for Asana. And
Yeah.
of course, like if that's not something you immediately need, you're not like, yeah, we gotta spend money on Asana. But if I feel like we need that to organize our project management and get to the next level, you did say, okay, let's pay for Asana to make this happen, to make systems easier. So that's
Mm.
a great example of putting my needs first over what you don't need or think is
Or care
extraneous at
about.
the moment or care about
Yeah.
or whatever. So that, yeah, they're my needs and they're also the business's needs, and it's going to make it easier. And there is a case for it. And it doesn't really benefit, I mean, it benefits you in the long term, but it doesn't benefit you in the moment. And you're still willing to pay for it to make it happen.
And that's just it. It's like when you make these rules for yourself, when we'd said this is a rule and we're going to go by it, then it's just, oh, I know Kaila is more passionate about this. I know she's really passionate about it. So yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. And also, we're a good match in that we're both not like so serious about everything. We're like, we'll buy that. And if it doesn't work, we'll cancel it. We'll
Yeah.
just do something else. We'll work with this contractor to do this video. And if we like it, and if we end up not liking it, we've learned and we'll move on and we'll make another video. Like nothing is permanent. There's always opportunity for more, for improvement. And that is our mindset anyway. For example, Platinum, big program, big mastermind coaching program where we started that in 2020 and it has evolved now. We've been running it for 3 years and it's evolved every year and
Mhm.
every month and basically every week over the years. And we just keep saying what would make this more and more incredible and giving more and tweaking and changing things and talking about it differently. And now we do fairly open enrollment by referral, which we didn't do before. And we just keep showing up and making it better. But we're not like, oh, in 2020, we did platinum this way and we used this system. So now we're going
Mm.
to get in some sort of like sticking point or argument because that's solid in stone then. Like we're just both not like that. We're moving on. We're moving forward.
Yeah.
We're scrappy.
We're scrappy and I feel like the Buddhist monks would be proud of us. We
They would.
really practice non-attachment.
We do. We make the sand mandolin and then we blow it all away.
Yeah.
Oh. And then
Oh,
one of us
goodness.
goes to the zoo. We're back in it. And then the other one's, hey, keep it together.
Yeah. And then
And
I'm
then
like, okay, I've got 10 new ideas. And Kayla's, can you put them in Asana?
yeah. And then it's Monday morning and here we are.
Yeah. So, what we would love for you all to think about, oh, I just sounded like our friend Hannah. Hannah always says,
You all, she does. Yeah.
yeah, you all up there in Canada. Okay. So, for everybody who's listening, what we would love is if you are a solopreneur and you've been dreaming of having a biz bestie, where start to get curious about like where do you see them fitting into your business?
Yeah.
And can you let go of the reins a little bit to say, yeah, I'd be willing to open up the door and have somebody else come into my baby because my aligned purpose is our baby. And I assume most people treat their business with the same amount of love. So thinking about that. And then thinking about if it's not somebody who's coming into your business to be business partners in, then thinking about what feels like a good collaboration, what feels like a good partnership. Because when you go into collabs and partnerships, the same thing rings true. Like you want to have a shared vision for what this partnership means. You want to be able to play off one another's strengths. You want to have similar audiences, but not be selling the exact same thing.
Yeah, you want both people to get the benefit. You want to
Yeah.
make sure that one person can keep it together at all times.
Yeah.
That's our number one tip. And you want to be respectful of what that person cares about and make sure that they're respectful of what you care about too.
Okay.
Okay.
That's that. That's a behind the scenes of going into business with, oh, and let's just speak to that too. Kayla and I were not best friends when we started this business. We only had known each other for 4 months.
Yeah, a couple of months. We talked once a week. We
Yes.
texted, but we talked on Zoom once a week.
Yeah, we got introduced to one another in June of 2019. I don't really remember if we chatted too much up leading up until February of 2020. February 2020, we went for coffee.
Yeah.
And then
When
we were
did we
like,
do that wine event? Was that in January? It was. It was in January. So we talked then. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I forgot about that. See, I was like, did we meet there? Yeah. So then that happened. We met up for coffee And when we met for coffee, that's when we decided, okay, we're both coaches, like want to connect once a week and coach one another.
And we had exited our 9 to 5s already.
Yeah, exited our 9 to 5s. And so we're getting to know one another, but I would say we know one another. We know so much about one another. And I think that just speaks volumes to being best friends with somebody. It's like knowing everything about one another and still sticking around and saying, yeah, I want to be here for this. And being excited about the future and how we're going to take family vacations with our kids and what that looks like. That doesn't happen with somebody that you're just surface level getting to know.
Yeah, or somebody that you're half in with.
Yeah.
I know for sure that the most important relationship that we have in business is with you. So if somebody is like, occasionally we've come across people who don't really mesh with our vibe, and I know that I hold our relationship in a like a cocoon in my head. I'm like, this is the most important thing. Everything else we can figure out. Everything else we can find a different way to make money. We can get different clients. We can build different programs. We can have different investments, whatever, as long as we protect this cocoon. And so anything that tries to compete with that cocoon has got to go.
See you later.
See you later. We're in the cocoon.
Yeah.
Just made that up right now and it's happening.
We're either in the cocoon or we're at the zoo. Find us in one of those two places.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Okay, we'll wrap it there. Thank you again for listening in this week. You know how you can subscribe to us. You head on over to Apple, you hit subscribe at the top. That way, there you get a notification every time a new episode is released. And we love that you're following along. If you're not inside of the collective, make sure that you get inside of there. The link is in the show notes. It's just our website /collective. And this is our free community. We read a different book every month. We do lots of fun stuff. We'll help you market your business. You'll make lots of friends. It's the place to be.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Okay.
Okay. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Bye.